Alright, welcome to the assembly video for the Mek Guns. I'm going to show you the basic assembly here. It's kind of a bunch of steps. The main part though is building the chassis and then picking which gun. The gun isn't going to be anything special really, because it's the last step. You put the custom bits on there, and so there's not a big deal. The other thing I want to do is build some extra guns out of the leftover bits using a truck box. So I'm going to use all the wheels from the truck and the chassis to kind of build a new chassis for these things, and then use maybe some of the either extra bits from the battle wagon box to make some more guns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bits for the different stages, walk through those, and show you. Just as a comparison, here's an old lift-a-droppa, the old tractor cannon. These are from 2nd edition. I have these still around. The Pulsar rocket, which wasn't replaced unfortunately. It's a really cool thing. And then this was the original cannon model. These were lots of fun to have back then. The tractor cannon actually pulled things towards you. The smash-a-gun lifted units up and dropped them. I think it was a lift-a-droppa, whatever. So they obviously have changed the design of those a little bit and how they work in the mechanics of the game. So yeah, you'll see though that the size of the wheels is a bit different, and the chassis obviously is much larger, and so are the guns, but the truck wheels that I'm going to use are larger again. So it'll be interesting to see how that all looks, and yeah, we'll do the assembly in this one, and it'll be a separate video for the customization. Alright, here we go with the assembly of the main chassis. I'm not going to worry about the grots because they're pretty straightforward, nothing to see there really. So there's two sets of wheels, they're all the same, and they're slightly smaller than truck wheels, slightly larger than biker wheels. So if you want to kit bash something, those are some of your options. Obviously the battle wagon ones are even bigger than the truck ones, so they won't work. Mine here don't fit together the greatest, so I'm probably going to have to put some filler in there to make sure that there's no gaps. So I'm going to try to find something to hold them together in between steps here, so I won't glue those on just yet. It's also neat to note that there's a flat spot on the bottom wheels. That'll just make sure that they don't roll too much or anything like that. So that'll be important to get that on the bottom proper. Okay, so then we got this piece here, and these supports are going to go off of the back of it. Now I didn't mark which ones were which. So let's see, it goes like this, and those are going to go up like that. So I think this one will be there. There you go. So they're only going to go one way, and they kind of press fit in there. We get some glue around that. Do the same for the other side. Make sure it's all in there. Some glue. And so those are kind of the bracing feet. So those are kind of cool. Next up, we're going to have this main part here, and so it's got these two supports on it as well that'll hold up this the front guard. It's unfortunate there's only one version of this front guard, because it means all the guns are going to look basically the same if you're using the kit anyways. So when we kit bash, that'll be something we can keep in mind. So those are going to go on there, and let's see, so maybe I'll glue those first. And there's two of those, and they're very similar sort of pieces. And actually it seems a little bit odd the way that's going to go, so let's see what that looks like when it's all together. Okay, so that's going to go on the top up like that. So this is going to be a little bit fiddly while these are drying. One way to do it would be to wait for those to dry, but I don't typically do that. I like to just press on, so those will go there. So that kind of floats in place, and it's going to be like that. The wheels are going to go on there, but like I said, I'm not going to put those on yet. I want to paint those probably separately as well. I need to fill in that gap with something. Then this is going to go on top of here somehow, and let's just make sure that I line things up. So this back bit there, so there, it's going to go just like that. Now I guess there's a bit of flex in the way that that can go, so I'll have to see. I think it's supposed to go straight up like that, but there is a bit of flexibility there, I guess, to make the gun pointing a different way. So maybe I'll leave that off just for now, and we'll decide on that later. Okay, for the next step we have some options. We have these sort of tubing things here to go on, or you can put on some spiky bits. I'm going to use these because I think the spiky ones will look better on my conversion versions. So this one here is going to go on there like that, so it just adds a bit of extra detail, and basically holds on by itself, but I'll put some glue to hold that. And I'm going to have a similar one going on the other side. And again, there's some options for different pieces, so that can make this look a little bit different if you're making multiple ones from the straight up kit. Although this is kind of minimal difference as far as I'm concerned. Then there's this piece here, and that's going to go in there like that, and that will attach to one of these guys as well. So that's going to go on the side of this here. There's a little notch there for it, and it will go just like that. And it kind of fits flat against there. So it's going to be just like that. And then finally we have these pieces here. So there's two different options for this door type of a thing, and it's going to go on this base here. These kind of look like truck doors, although they're much more curved. It'd be interesting to see if those would actually fit on a truck, so maybe it give you some options for making your trucks look a little bit more unique. It's almost like this piece here kind of look cool as a side sponson for your truck if you were to add that on, but I think it's pretty critical that you use it for your big guns. So anyways, that goes like that, and then it's going to go on the outside of this piece here, so that's going to be kind of our spotting place for the grot crew. Alright, and that's the end of this step, and these are going to probably go together with the other one, and we'll come back for that. Alright, for this step we're going to be assembling the main body. So there's just one more piece here. This is kind of a power cell of some sort that's going to go together. So it's just a basic box, two sides. Oops, I gotta put that in the right way. Two sides and a top, with the bottom already in place. So we'll just put some glue on the inside of that, and get the top on there. It's going to go like that. And a good squeeze. Okay, now I did dry fit the wheels on here, and I filled in those gaps and sanded it off. I filled it in with a bit of super glue, sanded it down using just a regular file. You can use whatever you've got around. So these go on there nicely, so I'm going to glue those on after I'm all done. But when I kind of dry fit this together, you can see that when this goes sort of straight together, all these pieces are going to sit on the ground perfectly. So the angle of this here is meant to go straight with this. So let's glue that. Well, actually, let's glue these other things on first, and I can glue that and let it dry kind of after. So this guy here is going to go on like that. So there's it matches up right at the top there, those little wires, and I'll make sure that everything is snug in place there. And of course there's contact points underneath and all around, so we'll just make sure that it all sits nicely there. Okay, so that's that. And these are going to go onto the chassis now. There's little notches on there that match up with these little holes here, and so that'll go in just like that. So as you can see, there's not really a lot of options for building this. Really nice looking model, but if you're going to have lots of them in your army, it's going to be very difficult to make them look different and unique apart from the weapons, but chances are you probably want to have the same weapons all in the same battery. So not really sure how are you going to go about doing that. Okay, so that's how that fits all together like that, and we'll glue this bottom piece here while we're at it, and that'll go just like that, and we'll just try to match that angle. I'll get that stuck there and then lay it all down so we get our contact points nice. Okay, that's that, and we'll let that dry, and we'll be on to assembling the main part of the gun. Okay, so the main cannon body here is this big piece here. Looks kind of like a drill. All of the gun bits are going to fit on the end, and they clamp on in such a way that they won't slip on and off easily with magnets. And I'm not going to bother trying to magnetize this. I'm sure there are ways of doing it fairly simply, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to use more than one of these guns, and so you're going to need to buy either lots of these kits or figure out how to kit bash, which of course I will try to show you. So there we go, that two sides go together there. This back piece is going to go on with some sort of a display panel, and that wire connects in there. Let's get that all glued up. Just looking at this display panel, I'm thinking you know, one of the interior bits from a Rhino kit will have a screen like that. Or even some of the Land Raider bits. Just thinking about the stuff that's going to be in my bits box that will work well for these types of pieces. Okay, so just make sure I get lots of glue along that seam. It's not a great seam there. I'm probably going to have to try to fill that and sand it down a bit just to make it a bit more hidden. And squeeze that. Okay, then there's some pieces that are going to go on top here. So this kind of a vent type thing goes up there, and that gives a bit more detail up the top. I've got this piece here is going to go on the side somehow. Oh, those are let's see, it's going to go like that, I think, and that's actually it should probably go that way. Yep, that's how it goes. So some more control panels. Oops. Just like that. And then this one other piece here is going to go right on the back. It's sort of a screen protector type of a thing. So little cage. Not sure why Orks would put that on there, but maybe they looted this from somewhere. Okay, so that's that. Next thing we have is the main support for the gun. So that's going to go something like this, and of course you don't want to glue that top bit there, so that's going to squeeze on the sides and the bottom will hold it, and then that will be able to pivot. So we're just going to glue this bottom bit here. So we'll get lots of glue in and around that, and a bit of a squeeze. There we go. That's the main gun assembly. So then the customization is going to go on the top there, and that'll make it into the various Orky guns. Okay, so I've got the bits to make the tractor cannon here, so I'm ready to put that together. The you know, like I mentioned before, there's not a lot of ways to magnetize this without using additional bits somewhere. So not going to bother doing that in this video. So I'm just going to try to put this together in a reasonable way. So that's going to go on the side of that second sort of ridge there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that on and then match up the other side and then do a final sort of a position on it. So I'll get that basically the right spot, get the other one in there, push it in and make sure there's lots of glue, and then we can position that, make sure it's all symmetrical, just like the Orks would do. I'm sure they wouldn't care, probably be off to the side, but anyways, so there's that, and then this front piece is going to go on just like that. Actually, they show that you glue it together first, so let's try that. Get a bit of glue on the inside is fine, and that'll go together. Good squeeze, and then it'll go on the front here. So again, some glue on there, and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees just so the seams don't all show up on the same side. So there'll be some on the side there, and yep. Okay, then the next thing is going to be putting all these little bits here pointing forward. So they're going to be a little bit fiddly. We'll see how well I can do that on camera. I might have to fix them up off camera so they all kind of point in towards the center. So there's a bit of an angle on there. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's going to go just like that. So it's kind of perpendicular to the arm sticking out. and get each of those on there. And the last one, just make sure they're all straight. Again, the orcs probably don't really care too much if it's all straight or not, but that looks pretty good to me. So that's pretty easy to line up. And then this last piece is going to go on the top, just like that. Okay, so we're all done. So that's, I'm not going to glue anything else together at this point because the assemblies are done. So this is going to go inside the main chassis like so. And really it doesn't matter if you don't let this move. The movement on it is rather minimal, and taking this out of the chassis too, it's not, I don't know when you're going to be doing that unless you magnetize that whole sort of a thing there. Finally, these wheels, they'll go on after they're painted, and I'll throw some pictures at the end of this video of what this looks like, but there you are, that's all done. All you've got to do is assemble your grots and paint it up. So it's a pretty impressive looking field gun, way larger than the previous ones, which are absolutely tiny. Here's the old 2nd edition tractor cannon comparison. So yeah, not a lot of comparison there really at all, but really cool kit, if not maybe a little expensive, especially if you want to field a whole battery of big guns, which are now called mech guns. Hope you enjoyed this, and make sure you check out my other videos, and see you next time.